With you today on your podcast is Josh Weinstein, a singer-songwriter, composer, originally from New York, who's now in San Diego playing keyboards and organ and piano with lots of people and working on a record that you will eventually have to use for bumper music.
Awesome.
We've all heard the phrase before, hung like Josh Weinstein. Ladies and gentlemen,
Josh
Weinstein.
Oh.
Woo! All right.
Get that guy out of here.
Ladies
Kill
and
him,
gentlemen,
demons.
and police officers. Yeah. And 911.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. You just came out of the studio this morning, or were you doing something else this morning?
I was doing something else.
Something else. You came out of the studio yesterday. though.
Yesterday and the day before.
Man, we are really excited to hear it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting down on it on tour.
Oh, yeah.
Good,
Really?
good driving. Yeah, for real.
The last one, not this one.
The-
Probably.
Yeah.
'Cause this
Two-
one, this
two of them.
would have been in the
Two.
future.
Yeah.
Right.
At the point that you were.
Yeah.
Yes. No, not.
Okay.
Maybe on the next tour we'll have that
That's
one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
to
right.
rock out to.
So you had which one? You had Love and Alcohol, and Brooklyn is Sink?
Brooklyn is Sink.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are fantastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we were. I actually specifically remember. I don't know where we were, but part of the drive, it was nighttime. I was driving.
Arizona.
Was it in Arizona? And all the aircraft warning lights from all like the various things, windmills and tall buildings and factories and stuff. I specifically remember. And it was raining a little bit.
Yeah.
She rolls
Yeah.
jaunty, was it?
Yeah, she rolls
Really?
jaunty. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
coming
perfect.
while it was
That's
raining.
good
It's a
wording.
perfect raining
That's
spot.
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
This drag is miles and miles, miles and miles. This Rorschach mess is miles and miles. The world is 10 feet wide most of the time. But this major drag is miles and miles. Buy me a seat in my own saloon. Rent me a room in my city. Turn all the fools off, I'll find my own way home. It rains in New Orleans, New Orleans. The coldest rain you've ever seen. I'll buy you a seat in our own saloon. Rent you a room in my city. Turn all the fools off, we'll find our own way home. Back of the neck and she likes it slow. Back of the leg and it's pretty. We're using the time that we mind when we're alone. She rolls jaunty when she rolls.
Yeah, that was cool. They're great records, man.
Thanks.
And Josh also played on my Joshua Taylor, my solo album, and he is a regular collaborator with King Taylor Project,
Yeah.
and puts together a lot of things in town. A lot of bands here in San Diego that do everything from like one-off tribute to. I mean, you obviously play your own shows too, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's highly active on the San Diego scene. And you were in New York for what, like 10 years playing before you moved here? 10.
Yeah. 99, I guess, to 2009. Yeah, 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I carry the one. Yeah, no, that's 10.
You don't have to take your shoes off. Just
Yeah.
shy of having to take
Yeah,
a shoe
and
off.
good thing it wasn't to 11 because
Yeah.
Was it music that took you?
Did you see that? It
took a minute, yeah.
He does get there, though.
Yeah.
He gets there. Was it music that took you to New York?
I don't know because I wasn't there for my parents' conception. I have no idea how they decided to hook up, what their impetus was, but I was brought to New York.
Tell us more
via
about your conception.
Fallopian tube. Yeah.
Let's talk more about your conception.
It was a
Can we?
warm, wonderful time. Yeah.
The last of its kind.
Yeah, I still have great memories of
Gotcha.
being in mom's vagina.
Nice. Nice. And that's all moms. He has great memories from last week.
And
Yeah.
moms, moms with an apostrophe.
MOMS
Yeah.
apostrophe.
MOMS.
And I am this many years old, and I still think that babies grow in vaginas. So
That's fantastic.
yeah,
So wait, the storks have sex
they put the baby
With
in
the-
mom's vagina.
in mom's vagina. Gotcha. That's why the long.
That's why the storks have
Okay.
the exactly.
Okay, that makes
yeah,
sense.
and 1 foot too, because they're kinky butt motherfuckers. That's why they.
what is it? What little cute rodent-like mammal is it that has that really long?
Oh, the eye.
The eye has a super
That's
long
not
finger.
cute.
Okay.
No, it's
cute.
creepy.
Okay.
It's kind of cute.
It's kind of cute.
Why were you going to talk about fingering a stork? Is that where you were
I
going
thought
with that?
maybe the stork and the eye.
Can we make it through one podcast without you talking about fingering a stork?
Or just without me fingering a stork? That would be a good start.
Yeah, and then talking about it.
I wonder if that's where like giving the bird. Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if the eye is the bird that you're giving.
It is. I can tell you for sure that that's what the Wikipedia page is going to say after I get to
Actually,
it.
maybe right about now. Yeah. Can you do that? Can you do real-time
Clickety-clack
vandalism on your
away.
I think I
podcast?
could. Yeah.
I think that's a ratings lifter.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
We'll add some Foley, like.
Yeah. No, not Foley. Rolly, like do it.
Like real Foley?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You just won. You won the podcast.
We should just end it there. It's not going to get any
That's
better.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I create.
That's about as long as, I mean, we could cuddle now, but that's about the amount of time that
Yeah.
I'm good for anyway. So,
Well, I can get real creepy now because we looked into your bio when we were adding. We did a short bio for you on the KTP website as a core collaborator. But
Okay.
So I know you're born in upstate New York, somewhere in the Hudson Valley, or
I was born in New York in
oh,
Queens.
you were born in Queens.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
did you grow up?
And I grew up in Poughkeepsie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Poughkeepsie, and then back
And
to.
I transferred back and forth because my parents were divorced.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're between the two, and then you ended up in
Yeah.
Brooklyn as an adult.
I
right?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. And you were a writer and an editor and a few other things.
Yeah. My college degree was actually in literature.
Okay.
And my first jobs, when I had real jobs, were what was those things? Can you Wikipedia job? 'Cause-
Yeah.
Some asshole cuts you
Right.
a check, and
yeah.
you go home and hate.
My first jobs were actually all my jobs were related to that field. So I wrote a bunch. I freelanced as an editor, and I wrote ads. I worked at an ad agency. as
Cool.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like Mad Men?
I haven't seen Mad Men.
It's,
As I understand it, that's like more about the 50s or 60s era advertising.
drinking
What are you
guys,
saying?
guys
alcohol and
drinking
calling women
the
broads.
What are you saying about Josh?
That maybe
He's-
he's drinking
he's
alcohol
an
at work
alcohol
and
and
calling
banging
women
secretaries.
broads.
So you have seen
To
it.
that extent.
Yeah, right. To the
It's my
extent that that's
autobiography.
what it's about, that part is correct. But no, it wasn't. It's just a bunch of frustrated, not even frustrated, a bunch of artists who need money, and so everybody's got a graphic novel on the side there, or a screenplay, or in my case, albums, that they're working on as they work there.
That's funny. That's sort of what I pictured, like copy editors and columnists to be, as artists who also need to
You need
eat
to
and
pay your
live
bills,
indoors.
right?
Yeah.
So I had a really weird situation where for a while I was a musician the way I made money was as a writer, which is not how you.
Yeah.
You usually
Yes.
be a writer and you make money doing something,
Yeah.
Right.
real. But
Right.
that's my real thing was I was a writer.
Okay.
Supporting my music habit.
That's cool. That's cool.
So around the office, were there just a lot of posters for like, go see my band or
Right.
go to this
Yeah.
art show? Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. You could choose somebody's nighttime endeavor to go to at any
Every
time.
night.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, a couple guys have screenplays that you'd go to openings and stuff like that. So, lots of bands, lots of comic books and art shows for sure. Yeah.
What did you? I mean, that's got to have. I know we were talking a little bit about this off mic earlier, but that's got to have impacted your perspective on moving to a city and making music. I mean, coming from the New York scene, it's a tight environment. It's competitive. Go ahead, say stuff about that.
It's a great movie, and I have a scene in it where you're. Just roll the clip. Roll the clip. It's fine. I'll talk about it after. Yeah, you don't need to set it up.
Well, what's? I mean, I know that jazz has a pretty strong presence.
Yeah.
In New York. What else? What are
Indie rock.
Indie rock. Okay.
Yeah. Lo-fi. When I was there, when I left, the lo-fi, the hipster thing was really coming in. Lo-fi hipster. So, one mono microphone in a studio was where everybody was going. Drums were all recorded mono, and that lo-fi thing was pretty heavy. So people would play homemade instruments. There was a lot of, we were talking about this as you said off mic, but there's so many of everything in New York that you have to find a thing that you're the best at.
Yeah.
And so everybody has some angle,
Right.
musically in New York, which is why so many bands come out of that scene in Brooklyn and
Sure.
Lower East Side. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated by other, because I've only been a musician in this city. I was in the Navy, and then I mean, you did it in Colorado a little bit.
It was mostly just here.
Mostly here. And Sandi, you became a full-time musician here too. So it's a little, when we go on tour, you only get so much. The way we tour independently, we come into town, we play a small venue or bar, restaurant, or coffee shop, or whatever we happen to have in that town, and we meet a few people and we move on. But it's really hard to get a grasp sometime on what it's like to actually live in one of those other cities and be making music, whether full time or something other than full time. So it's always interesting to talk to people from other scenes. And
the clubs have no shortage of bands who want to play at them there. So they can be choosy, and a lot of the scene in New York is draw. Can you draw 20? If you can draw 20, I'll put you on a Thursday. If you can draw 40 on a Thursday, I'll put you on a Saturday. If you can draw 75 on Saturday, we'll put you on the main stage.
Right. How did you? This is totally. I don't know if this is relevant to the podcast. This is maybe a selfish question, but how do you go about, from your perspective, building a draw? Because we think about that here, and it's like it's easy to play bar restaurants that don't need a draw, and they're a paid gig, and you don't need a draw to and so that is where you build a following, and hopefully they come to shows. But how many of those gigs are there in a place like New York?
Right, and so in places where that's the system, they will ask you not to have another show for 6 weeks on either side, so you don't saturate your draw. And I used to break that rule, and sometimes suffered from it, because I wanted to be playing, so I'd secretly go book another gig,
right?
And only there's only so many times your uncle's friends can be called on to to come out and help you pad the draw.
Right.
You inventing other band names and everything for 6 weeks too.
It's weird. It feels like a no-win. I mean, I know it's not. Clearly, there is a way to do it, but it seems so mysterious to me.
They mostly. I mean, I took this to heart when I moved out to San Diego. I've probably taken it too much to heart, actually, at this point. But the advice, the common wisdom back in New York was you only play your hometown twice a year, or even once a year.
Wow.
So that it's an event.
Wow.
Like, playing a New York show
is
an event, and everybody you've ever met will come see you do it, and you do the rest of your market building on the road, even if you're just driving, even if you're driving 2 hours to the next city.
Man.
The wisdom back then, and I heard it often, was just don't play New York if you want to play New York.
Right.
Like, if you want to play New York, you have to be from away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
So what sparked your move to San Diego?
It was just part of the settlement. I was required to be no fewer than 2,500 miles from any elementary school.
playground.
Yes. And
in
there's a
New
lot
York.
of elementary schools here.
Yeah. No, it's just New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've said to me many times that you don't find California children attractive.
I knew halfway through that was headed a bad place.
Yeah.
I mean, that is mostly true, but there's a couple, man. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah. I agree. There are a few.
I came here to because I didn't want to go back into corporate after I quit. I wanted to figure out how I could keep music but still insure my kids and get some money coming in. So I came to get a PhD at UCSD.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Are you ABD?
I'm ABD.
Very ABD.
I'm very ABD.
The correct reply to that was, yeah, you know me.
Yes, you won back. No, you won.
You.
Yeah. Yeah, you know me. That's good. Yeah, I'm extreme. I'm VABD. Yeah. XABD. Extreme ABD.
Well, so to my understanding, most people who get an advanced degree in music, some level of education is the target profession. With that,
is prof, right? Being a university prof. Yeah. So that you can, that affords some freedom not to have to give up, music as an endeavor,
right?
And also gives a little security,
right? And you get the flexibility as a prof to take on as many classes depending on the university's policy.
Within limits. That's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
You have a minimum usually, especially when you start.
Right. Are you at all interested in teaching at a conservatory or a professional school like MI or something like that?
Absolutely.
Just whatever seems like a good gig. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I've got no, well, this professor shall. Right. No, I've got nothing like that. Yeah, you can enjoy it wherever you are. So,
right. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Tell us about some of the players on your records. How did you hook up with G.E. Smith, right?
Yeah.
You play on that? How
Yeah,
did
he
that
did.
happen?
Well, as part of the event that resulted in the
Settlement.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
no, that's not. So,
And be careful because he does listen to this podcast.
And if there's something I could say, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say it anyway. And if there's one thing I could do, I don't know. I don't know. Would I lay it down for you?
the bass player that I used for Love and Alcohol is Paula Sola, who played with the Roaches and was part of the Saturday Night Live band when G.E. Smith was there.
Wow.
And toured with him as G.E. Smith's band. And I did have a song that I had a particular sense in mind of what I wanted to happen, you know, over the top of it with guitar. Mm-hmm. And I just said, do you think G.E. would do this? And he said, I don't know, ask him. Here's his contact information. So I wrote him, and his wife wrote back. And by the way, who are these people whose wives manage their music careers, and how do I find one of them? I want to ask this, because it happens here, too. I get paid by a guy here. It's always his wife who sends the W-9 and the,
You know how you find the answer to that? You just write G.E. Smith the question, how do you find one of these wives?
Yeah.
And then his wife will let you know.
Man, I go crazy just to be with you. Man, I go crazy just to be with you. Man, I go crazy just to be with you.
So anyway, she wrote back, and we scheduled it, and yeah, he came in, he had learned the stuff, he listened through, and I actually ended up with a couple extra songs, because he had put his homework in, he had some time left over, and I just played a couple more tracks, and he played along to them, so that's how he ended up.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I'm such a SNL fanboy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anything that has anything to do with that.
Yeah, and interesting thing about him is that sometimes, there's different kinds of musicians, right? So sometimes you'll be like, on that second take, can you do something like that? And they'll say, can you play it back? I don't remember what I did. Mm-hmm. He was the opposite. Take to take, he knew every note he had played in every place he played it. So he would say, I did this thing over here for you. Oh, on that one, I think you're going to like this thing I did. Like he had a catalog in his head of every note he had played on each take.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Man. Those guys are really fascinating to me. They kind of baffle me. The fact that they must have to learn so many tunes all the time, and they're always doing weird things like backing up some artist that
they're
comes
all.
on.
I mean, they're all. You could call any of them if you're in New York. You can if you want to do a freelance gig or something. They're all just players out on the scene. There's some guys I knew as people, and then some guys who they'd say, hey, did you try this guy? And it was the drummer, or,
right.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. I imagine them not having any time, but I guess the show doesn't run
all week.
year.
Yeah, all year. Oh, yeah.
Right, and also all week, right?
Yeah.
The band
Yeah,
doesn't have
that's
to be
true.
there while they're writing sketches on Monday or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. That's cool.
You just could never, ever do a Saturday night gig.
Right.
You don't need to do a Saturday night. You are doing a Saturday night. Yeah. You're doing the Saturday night gig.
Yeah, there's one example of the rule being broken. You can play in New York if you're
Every
playing on
Saturday.
SNL.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the asterisk.
Yeah,
to
right,
that
right.
comment.
Yeah. Hey, how you guys like Trump? Is he cool?
Dude, bad ass.
Actually,
He's a guy.
We were just joking the other day about how would you like to be the first musician that gets asked to do, because
Kid Rock.
yeah, oh yeah, that's
exactly.
right. He's already all over it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Ted Nugent.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, I
Kid
guess
Rock
that's
and Ted
probably.
I told you, yeah.
what's his name? Put a boot in your ass.
Toby Keith. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, I
Yeah.
bet he's a fan. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he'll have a nice lineup of country stars, country and hard rockers who
Yeah, who are all about
like
it.
guns and hate Muslims.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be curious
There's
to
probably
hear
a band by that name.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to hear the stories of all the people that he contacts to play that say, fuck no.
Yeah.
I saw an article about that
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
somewhere.
way to go.
The fact that you saw it as
cool
the least
information.
interesting
Did you
part
read
of the
Yeah.
Right.
Did you read the article?
I saw an article about that, you guys.
That's nice.
I did your podcast just now.
That's
Hey, remember that
Do you
time we
remember-
were all doing a podcast in our Chinchilla studio?
good times. It's good times.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's nice. Yeah, that was good.
It's good.
It's real nice.
Don't encourage.
Tell you what, let me fuck that tape up. Take up.
There you go. There you go. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The
right.
ice chew. Nice.
Well, we're doing this is kind of cool. We're doing Tonight in San Diego tonight with Josh, and we've got Nathan Hubbard on drums and Jay. Well, I don't know. This is going to be old news by the time the podcast comes out. But
When does it come out?
We will have had 15th.
15. It's a couple days.
And who are you, how many listeners do you have?
It's hard to tell. We know
Enough
how
to
many
party.
downloads. Yeah,
Enough to party?
we can see
throw
our
like a small
downloads.
party.
But I don't know how that's counted. It's somewhere in the
Tens of thousands?
Tens
In
of
the
tens. It's something in around 50, but who knows if that's my mom streaming it 8 times and those all count as downloads
Yeah.
or
Okay.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Miss Josh Teller's mom, I forget her name.
Yeah, it's
What's her name?
Denise.
Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Write in. Tell us how many times you stream.
Yeah, right in. That's the only way to get a hold of me, Mom.
Yeah.
You got to write into the show.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Tell us how many times
About
you stream the podcast. In fact, all the moms.
Mom. My mom's sitting in the other room.
Yeah,
Mom,
Susan.
Mom, how many times?
She's listening
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. She
Yeah.
listens.
She doesn't
She
listen.
gets the worst version.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I don't come here often. Why do you chain her to the wall like that? Is that
Well, she gets a little unruly when we have
Really?
guests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She
Right.
starts to
But
like.
does she have to face the wall? Can't you?
Well,
lose?
It's- she's-
the direction she faces is court ordered.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
We'd
Yeah.
chain her
well, I can relate.
regardless.
Say no more. I
Same
got it.
incident.
Okay.
It was
Same-
the same incident.
Really?
Yeah.
That was fairly widespread.
It was. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Music on this episode provided by Josh Weinstein.
Yeah. No, not Foley. Rolly. Like, do it.